How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we are looking at the faces of pain. I'm just going to be going through, this is a great Facebook post I saw, by the way. I'll have a link to it in the description below. And that this is just a visual guide to equine facial expressions. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of specific detail. I'm just going to be trying to, point out the tools that are being used here and how they work. So, I mean, it's pretty basic. You can see, if anybody sees a horse, you may or may not see this as a relaxed look. It looks like, a horse, as they say, they're alert, but relaxed. They're just looking, something's, in their visual mouth and their nostrils and their lips are nice and relaxed versus, say, example one, which is a pretty extreme example. Wide eyes. We see the whites of the horse's eyes. There's going to be a lot of wrinkling there. We have ears pinned back. Which usually means that they are in pain. Open mouth with a horse, unless they're yawning, with something in their mouth and it's open, almost always going to equal that they're in pain, and probably a lot of pain, pretty severe pain. Opening their mouth, trying to relieve pressure from the bit. Flared nostrils, another sign. With all the entire picture, the totality of circumstances, this horse is clearly uncomfortable. They got the stupid roll curve going on, which is, overextension, hyperextension of the horse's neck, which is totally unnatural, and I don't know why people think it's pretty or it's proper. People always try to say, we need to teach the horse how to carry its head. The horse knows how to carry its own darn head, okay? He knows, or she knows, they know how to carry their body. It's the human who needs to learn how to just sit there and stay out of the horse's way. Stop trying to, that's like me coming over to a person, trying to manipulate them in any specific way, saying this is how a doctor should look, this is how a lawyer should look and act, and it's just nonsense. This rein here is also adding a lot of leverage. So I don't know where this part goes, but anyway, part of the rein is it goes through a loop, and the more you pull on it, the more leverage you get. So it slides in and out of this ring, causing this horse's chin basically to touch his chest. They can't breathe. That's where you get all these veins popping, and you get all these, them foaming. This one is less extreme, but it's still uncomfortable. I just don't like this horse. Really, although it looks like a relaxed rein, it's really not. I mean, it's very likely to be a leverage bit is the example. So anytime this horse moves their head even just an inch, they're going to feel that pain in their mouth. It doesn't take a lot versus this. This still has leverage, but it's less. It takes a lot more power to pull in the horse's head versus this one. That's why they call them leverage bits, where it takes 1 pound of pressure, 1 pound of pull per 5 or 10 pounds of pressure on the mouth, because you have that length and it doesn't take a whole lot. You see the whites of the eyes, tense looking face, ears are back, they look stiff, as they say they have a pointed upper lip, flared nostrils, not comfortable. And this, of course, is a quiet expression pain. This horse is just miserable, shut down, especially if they have a clamped mouth or they have that droopy lip. They're just, sometimes horses will have their tongue sticking out because they lost the feeling in their tongue. The nerves have been crushed in their tongue, and so it just sticks out permanently. I mean, if you can't tell that this is not a horse that's comfortable, then okay, I can't help you. So this is an example of this. And along with this question, or along with this video, I'm going to be answering a question for a friend of mine, Mark. Mark asked if you can, in the name of sport, people say that humans will fight through the pain in the name of sport. They realize it's painful, but they choose to fight through it anyway for the good of either the sport or sportsmanship or whatever that may be. Which I'm totally fine with. If that's, that's a human, look, I do work, or when we're moving things or whatnot, I'm in pain, but I still choose to do it anyway. Or if I'm in pain and if it hurts my back, to bend over to make it more comfortable when I'm working with a horse with their feet and whatnot, so I don't twist their arm out, I'm happy to do that, to continue through the pain, because it's for the greater good, for something else. I benefit from that. I benefit from animals benefiting. When it comes to an animal, in this particular case, a horse, being in a sport, which we see open mouth, flared nostrils, white eyes. Oh, there's some pretty bling, and it's all I'm being sarcastic. It's all braided. We got the neck being pulled in here. We have not one but two bits. We have a curved chain under the chin. All this leverage on these two reins. This is pulling here, and it's pulling on the back of the head. This is not a comfortable horse. They're gagging the horse. They are cutting off pressure to the tongue. It's crushing the tongue against the jaw with that chain. The more this here bit pulls, the tighter it pulls on this chain. So we're going to keep going through these lovely videos. We have a nose band, open mouth, flared nostril, ears pinned. They have this little plastic cover so it doesn't pinch the horse or it doesn't slide through it doesn't matter. Look at how tight they are. Look at this horse. This horse is not comfortable. This horse is in a lot of pain. And the nose band there is meant to keep the horse's mouth shut, or as they like to say, keep the bit in place. If you don't use a bit, you don't need to worry about it. But to answer the question from Mark, if we're comparing horses to dogs, right, in the name of sport, a lot of dogs enjoy the sport, and even if they're uncomfortable or they're in pain, or say a Labrador is hyperventilating, they can't breathe because they're panting so hard, they will still be ready to go for a ball, and we have to tell them when to quit, right? Or if a dog needs wraps on their legs because they do a lot of jumping, or they do a lot of like dock diving or whatnot, or a lot of agility. We try to protect their tendons. They're still ready to go. That's the difference between a dog and, say, a horse. A big difference is that we're not on the dog's back. We're not controlling, for the most part, everything a dog does in a sport. This person is controlling every aspect of this horse's movement. Tight bit. We got the two bits here. We got overextension. We got bloodshot eyes showing. Oh, this cute little ear cover. Flared nostrils, teeth. It's foaming. They're pulling it. All these wrinkles show how tight the damn bit is. Veins, sweating, slobbering on itself. Wrinkled nose. This horse can't breathe because they're pulling so hard back on its mouth. Big wrinkles. Nose band, foaming. These horses cannot choose where they walk, how fast they walk, what gait they walk in, how long they have to work. They can't choose to not have a bit in their mouth. They can't choose to not have pain. The human controls everything in the aspect of sport because it's for the human, not for the animal. The animal does not enjoy this. No horse you think this horse enjoys this? Tight reins, nose, band, tongue sticking out, foaming, flared nostril, eyes going back. His ears aren't going back, but they're probably going to go back in a second. It might be rearing. Look at this death grip they have on the reins. These horses are not having fun, and I feel like curb chain. Look at these wrinkles. Big eyes. Huge amount of leverage here. Foaming all over. The reins, he foamed so much that it slobbered all over the reins and it slapped him on the neck. He's fighting the bit so hard, all these wrinkles, and he or she is stretching this nose band to try to relieve pressure. Oh, and we got a whip here, as if it's not enough. We got a whip and we got gloved hands, we have grip. Horses in this kind of sport, dressage, racing, all these other horses, a lot of other sports that include horses are abusive. There can be some sports that are abusive for dogs, but pretty much all of them are abusive. And they call them a martingale. I call it like basically a tie down, but not as bad, where it keeps the horse's head from going as high so they can't get leverage away from the person. Death grip, again, nose band, all that. Sorry, I'm trying to answer the question, but I'm just trying to show you. If these horses had a choice to do this or not, they would not do it. There's instances where if you let go of the reins or the rider falls off, The horse will continue to go through all the jumps and all the stops and whatnot to get to the end because they've been conditioned. They've done it so many times, hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times in their history, their lifetime, in their career. And I'm not giving anybody attitude. Like, I'm not giving you attitude, Mark. I'm just talking about this. I'm talking at the people or to the people that want to do this to animals and claim, oh, they love it. They love to jump. They don't. It's not natural for them to jump a dozen times, 3 dozen times, 100 times a day, especially when they're jumping really high. They have a rider on their back that's a sack of potatoes. They have an extra 150, 200 pounds on their back with the saddle and everything, landing on 2 legs. A horse carries 60 to 70% of their weight, I might be wrong with that number, but around there, on their front 2 legs, because they have their head to balance and they have the rest of their body. So if you're riding your horse with none of this on its face, completely, you could have a saddle pad, whatever, maybe even a halter, or just totally liberty, and you're able to teach your horse to dance by using leg pressure, and you're not using spurs and bits and whips, and you're not causing such hyperextension of the body and having to tie the bit in place and having to cause all these veins to pop out. Oh my God, look at this. This is in the name of sport. This horse just looks dead inside. I mean, veins, tight rein, we got the bling, noseband, and this is the back of the lip. This should be here, at least, really here. They have stretched this so much. If you were to do this without any of this on the horses, again, in liberty, which is like where you work with the horses without any equipment on them, or even on their back, you're not even on their back. You could be on a pad and whatnot for, the comfort of the horse. And there's people who do it. And if you're able to do that without having to use whips and all this other nonsense to teach them, I would be okay with it. But horses don't like doing that. This doesn't benefit them in any way, shape, or form. Dogs, if they're in sports, they enjoy it. They do it because they enjoy it. Horses love to run, but not the way people teach them. Horse races are extremely abusive. And a lot of these people, I imagine, if they do it in horse races, I'm sure they do it in the show ring, that they drug up their horses. When they're sore and they're limping, and they drug them up, or they give them bute, which is like horse aspirin, or steroids, or they ginger their tail, or they put marbles under their feet so they step higher. They cause all sorts of sneaky ways of pain by gingering the tail. Under the tail is like there's no hair and it's very sensitive, and they rub ginger or pepper so the tail stays high. Or they cut the nerve to the tail so it can't swish. They cut the nerve to the ears so they can't pin them, so the horse doesn't show that they're in discomfort. And people will fight and support that this foaming lubricates the bit. If you don't have a piece of metal or iron or leather or rubber or plastic or chain, barbed wire, whatever you want to put in their mouth, which all those have been used as bits, the horse wouldn't be foaming. They don't need to lubricate squat. This is a sign of the body saying there's a foreign object in me, get it out. This is like when dogs hypersalivate when they're nervous. Again, this is not towards you, Mark. This is towards the dummies out there. When a dog hypersalivates, when they're drooling on themselves, or they're panting, or they're foaming, they are in extreme anxiety. They're very nervous. They're very stressed. This horse is one of those that just looks dead. Can't breathe. Curb chain, bit, leverage, stressed out eyeballs. But we got bling. We got braids. God, this poor thing doesn't have a noseband, but it has the 2 bits. So it is confirmed. I can see it has 2 bits. I wasn't ever sure if these had a lot of these had the extra bit, like mouthpiece. It does, and it has a little martingale tie down, veins, open mouth, and these here are called wolf teeth. That a lot of male horses have. I think some female might have them. Maybe not. I don't know. Those all their teeth can easily be broken The bit sits on top of gums. Again, if you were doing this with Liberty, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, the horse, again, probably wouldn't do it because the horse, you wouldn't have the ability to force them unless you could use positive reinforcement with horses. A lot of people think it's, you can't, but you can. I mean, there's lots of Liberty where the horses are having fun. But with dogs, they're chasing a ball. They love it. They're running after something. They're jumping. They enjoy it. Horses, this is all for the human. Especially, this is more martingales. The 2 bits, the curb chain. This horse is ouch, and this one is just dead inside. They can't open their mouth like this one because they have the noseband on, and the bits, and the curb chain, and the tie-down martingale, whatever you want to call it. Oh, God. Flared nostrils. This is done in the name of sport, and this happens so often. They cut the hair, they make it look nice, they put a sheen to its coat, but they ignore all of the other signs. If a horse is enjoying something, I work with horses. Like, God, look how tight this bit is. I work with horses, and none of them ever have anything in their mouth. None of them are ever sweating because I don't run them to death. I don't chase them off. They basically tolerate me, like, messing with them, but then I let them be a horse. I let them go graze. I let them, they get a little snack here and there, a little cookie, where I teach them not to be afraid of certain things, like anything really, like a plastic bag or a tarp. And none of them end up looking like this. Jeez, this poor thing. Again, and all these are winning, drooling and dripping in veins. That's what it is, just vanity. God, this poor little thing. I guess this is to keep the flies off them. I don't know. It's all fancy, special martingale. Super tight. Little tongue sticking out. We got the bling. I don't know if this is to keep flies off or not. It may or may not be preventing them from being able to breathe better, or maybe they're trying to hide the flaring nostrils. I don't know. People hide stuff all the time. This looks like it may or may not be like a iron bit, covered with rubber, like it makes it any better. This is blood. This is bloody foam coming out of this horse's mouth. Look at this person's hand grip. They don't have it like this. They have it like this. Flared nostril. This horse is bleeding. They break teeth. It's on gums. The bits are on gums, and people say, I have a soft bit, I have a kind bit. No bit, nothing that goes in the animal's mouth can be kind in my eyes. Even if it's rubber, if it's made of foam, then you don't need it. If you need it to be that soft, if you're that soft with your hands, then use a halter. You don't need anything in their mouth if you know what you're doing. Jeez. All of this is in the name of sport, and the horses sweat. If they had any choice, they would not be here. They would be grazing. They would be running with their little herd mates. If they had herd mates, they would be, they kick and buck and fight and bite each other, but that's horseplay. They have the choice to do that. Usually they have the choice to run away if they're in a herd and, in pasture and whatnot. But if you were able to ask a horse, or even, a lot of times people will try to prove that their horse enjoys their job when they show them the bit and the horse grabs the bit out of the person's hand and puts it in their mouth. That's because the horse doesn't like it. It's because they say, the sooner I get all this gear on, I get you on my back, the sooner I get you off. They've been conditioned to do it. Just like if a rider falls off any of these horses' backs, I'm sure a lot of them will continue to finish the jumps and whatnot because they say, this is what I do. Extreme. And it has a noseband. Oh, but it has a little fancy padded thing. Now, if you had just this padded thing and just a halter on, and you were just going around doodling your thing, that I would have no problem. Who cares what I think anyway? But I'm just explaining things that, to answer, the main question, if anybody's still around. Long story short, horses do not care to fight through pain in this manner, in this context, because of sport, because None of this benefits the horse. It is entirely for the human. In dog sports, dogs enjoy it because dogs also benefit from the sport, except for dog racing, greyhound racing and whatnot. Obviously dog fighting, all that, but the dogs in agility and all that, they love it. Even if it's not necessarily good for their body, I don't think it's good for them to do like lots of jumps or really high jumps for long. I mean, they end up with, arthritis and stuff, but that's a whole different soapbox. But I mean, like, everything with moderation. But these horses, none of them would be here if they didn't have to be. So, I mean, especially not with this. Not with all this going on. Look at the bling. We got a little bell here, big bit, nose band, and this again, martingale to keep them from pulling their head up entirely, but they can't. It's probably illegal for them to use. Probably against the rules and regulations to be able to use a full tie down. But look at this. Eyes are going. We got bling. If it were my choice, I wouldn't have their faces blurred out. They got their little safety vests so that they're safe. But if the horse falls and breaks their neck or breaks a leg or whatnot, then okay, nobody cares. It's nice and padded here, but we got a bit in their mouth, possibly two, I don't know. Nose band. Oh, they got a blue ribbon. Great. The bling. This person won at this horse's expense. Look at that huge bit in their mouth and a nose band to keep it in place or keep it from, the horse from getting their tongue over it because, God forbid, they become comfortable in the slightest bit. Huge bit. And people are like, I have a feel-good bit, a soft bit. I have a special flavored bit. Horses do best what they do most. Whip. If they're going to do it anyway, they say, let's just hurry up and get it over with. Whip. Bling. Tight reins. Gloves. This one. The horse can't even shake off his head to get the flies off of him or her. Tight, but we got the tight bit with several wrinkles. This horse is probably just standing there, and they have it tight constantly. Again, people will say, oh, I have to have my horse on contact. He doesn't learn how to do without contact. Well, you've never taught them how. The martingale. Nose band. I mean, this is not comfortable. This horse would naturally be shaking these flies off. And a lot of times flies on a horse can mean a sign of illness or they're not healthy or, Gosh. Yeah, horses naturally whip or crop or whatever you want to call it. Naturally, they don't jump a lot. And they certainly don't jump things this high. And they don't want to have a monkey on their back landing on them, acting like a sack of potatoes. Tongue out. This bit is flying all the way out. Bling, gloves, whip, martingale. And the reason why they have those little plastic covers, for anybody who doesn't know, is to keep this from going this far. I don't know how people can see this and ignore it. This bit is, they have it not only on that ring, they have more leverage. This is a leverage bit. And they have it on as much leverage as they can get, I think, from the looks of it. Pulling this way, there's another strap underneath, although it's a leather strap. This actually goes under the jaw and squeezes, and it also pulls on the back of the head. Again, I mean, he looks cute and goofy, but it's extreme pain. And they got a little bit more leverage than here. More flies, head is up, ears are back, whip, gloves. So yeah, if horses do not benefit from sport, and say they're in the wild and they're injured, of course they're gonna, even if they're injured, they're gonna keep up with the herd because that's their survival. They don't want to die, but that's not really in the name of sport. But in that case, if they have an injured leg, even though it hurts them to keep walking and running and moving, they're going to keep doing it because that's their drive. But otherwise, no, I don't see any excuse or reasoning why a horse would, specifically a horse, would fight through pain in the name of sport. So again, I'm not trying to give any attitude to any people who are curious or asking. This is just, I'm, channeling the wrong kind of people that I'm talking to. But they're already gone by now. So thanks for watching. I hope I answered your question and anybody else's questions out there. Let me know what you all think of the video. I'll be posting a lot more reviews coming up soon. Hope you all are doing well. Say hello to your little critters for me. Give them some kind of loving. And until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.